after 4 hours, I called to see how he was doing, and she said it took 45 minutes to put the muzzle on him, and that he's going to bite somebody, and I should put him down.
Okay, that's what they told you.
And so that was the actual desperate owner of Rocky, who's an American Bulldog Mastiff, who was advised by another trainer after just 4 hours of working with the dog. The trainer said, put him down. It's incredible. And Dave, I know you hear that a lot.
I hear it almost every day.
It disturbs you, doesn't it?
It disturbs me a lot because it's 90% of my business has come down to that scenario where it's, you know, like I said, I'm glad there's a lot of different trainers. What I don't like is when the trainers, they go to death. And instead of saying, I don't know, instead of saying, get a second opinion, I don't specialize in this. That dog was not just at one trainer. That dog was a few trainers. And then it was the 4 hours of, it was just 4 hours of observing the dog, not even working with the dog. And it was advised to be put to sleep. You can't come back from put to sleep. Put to sleep means death. You don't come back from that. So when I met the dog, first of all, because I deal with that so often, I already know that it's not, you know, death is finite. You know, you can't come back from death. So I already know that anytime I hear that, I'm so used to hearing it that it's a given that it's not true. So once she dropped the dog, you know, but it hurts me when I hear that story every time I hear it because these dogs are my whole entire life. Right. And somebody is telling these people that dogs should be dead. Listen, the safety of humans is important. I understand that. But death, there better be some really major issue that cannot be fixed, which I've never dealt with, before you tell somebody to put their dog to sleep.
Let's take a look real quick at Rocky out of control at home. Let's take a look at some video and talk about it, okay?
Sit. Sit.
He's a mastiff American Bulldog mix.
He's about 100 pounds?
At least, on a light day. And basically his own, this is just, they had no control over him. His size, unfortunately, it gets stereotyped. Somebody sees his size and his color and automatically they become afraid of him. That fear, unfortunately, the dog senses, and then he becomes even more intimidated. So like when he was at another trainer, because of his size, nobody wants to get bit. If you don't know how to work with dogs like that, then you're automatically going to be worried about the interaction with the dog. Unfortunately, he senses that worry, in turn, which makes it get worse. It's just a snowball effect. So once I got the dog, she dropped the dog off. Once she dropped the dog off, after 5 minutes, when I really got an interaction with him, I could tell that this dog is just big. He's not even really aggressive. He's
but what
just
what was wrong there? I mean, what was your diagnosis?
My diagnosis was he's out of control. And out of control in the sense where he's hyper, he would jump on people. He acts no different than a 5-pound dog, except because he's a 100-pound dog, it's aggressive. If he was 5 pounds, there would never have been somebody told him to put to sleep. So he just was he was just hyper, and look at the look in his face. You can tell that he's happy. That's basically.
This is our after video. Look at him.
This is 10 minutes after they dropped him off. This
10 minutes.
After. Yeah, this isn't just that day. But this is how I get to, I knew this part of him before I even had him downstairs, because this is how all dogs are. You cannot judge it. When the dog first meets you, it's going to be nervous. But
you get down, and that's important, because I remember you telling me that with my original buddy. You're down on the ground.
So he trusts
your
me.
hand, you're like this, your hand is down,
it's
right?
More, yeah, it is, and it's about, once I can judge what his mindset is, in other words, I can tell, does he want to hurt me? Is he just playful? Is he just big? And biting is wasn't even an option with him. I knew he wasn't going to try to bite me. He just isn't that kind of dog. As long as I accurately read him and not be afraid, because I don't have to fear something that just wants to lick you. Then everything else from that point is just a matter of trust and getting him to be, to know that there's no threat to him. I'm his friend. I'm his buddy. That's all it boils down to.
Let's talk about another success story of yours, another pit bull named Ringo.
This
and he
is a
had
big deal.
Severe insecurity.
Now you can see this dog here with this is like right after they dropped the dog off. The owners, this is Ringo, he's a pit bull. Pit bulls are extremely emotional dogs. They're very, very sensitive. Believe it or not, they're less likely to bite people than normal because they're so sensitive. Unfortunately, they also have stereotypes. But this is all about fear.
Ooh,
like right now, look, I have good reflexes, but keep in mind, in his mind, he's afraid. It's obvious he's afraid.
Had he been beaten, or why?
No.
Okay.
Well, his owners adopted him from the SPCA, or they got him from rescue, but they didn't know what his past was.
Because you hear pit bull and you think mean dog,
yes,
bad dog.
Absolutely, and they think the dog is going to be aggressive, but that dog was just terrified of the world. Although there was, when the owners that dropped him off to me, although it wasn't a rational fear. In other words, the owners weren't doing anything to make him afraid. So, but to the dog, it was rational. To the dog, there was something to be afraid of. In its even if it was just imagining it. So dogs like that are so sensitive and they're so insecure, this whole world is against him. So when I got him there, that was just the first hour that I interacted with him.
And let's see Ringo new and improved, the after. Can we show Ringo after?
Now, this is still within that first week of me interacting with him. And again, once, it's all about trust. Once I get him to trust me, to realize that there's nothing to be afraid. There is no life or death situation here, Ringo. We're friends. You don't have anything to worry about.
Aww.
But that always was his true
kiss.
personality. It's just the snapping came from fear. It was his first time he ever met me. So, but now, like at my facility in King of Prussia, this is exactly what I go for. Like, that is what his real personality is. But the fear was blocking that.
But how did you do that, to go from snapping at you to kissing?
And that's the thing, it's not that it comes from 20 years of doing nothing but learning about one thing. And I can interact with the dog and accurately understand what is going on in his head. Whether it's fear, I specialize in aggression, Don, and yet I've never met one dog who I would consider dominant aggressive. Aggressive to me, that's a dog that wants to hurt you. These dogs they feel like they're defending themselves.
But is it partly that they feel that you're not afraid of them and that they feel your love, or that they're a judge of good character?
No, well, it is. The first step is getting them to feel, I'm not afraid of them, but it's not so much that I'm not afraid of them. If I'm afraid of them, they don't realize it's them I'm afraid of. All they know is like, this human being is afraid. What do I got to worry about? In other words, they just sense fear and it worries them. The not being afraid of him, and plus not being a threat to him, immediately to him makes trust. He then views me as, this person is going to make sure nothing happens to me.
Aww.
So I take the responsibility of, once he trusts me, that's a big responsibility. That means I will protect you. You don't have to worry about anything because I will worry for you. That's my job.
Are you ready to meet my new buddy? Because you trained my old buddy. You ready to meet my new buddy?
And I can take these guys out, right?
My new dog buddy, he is very afraid of men, very insecure. He's a rescue dog who was abused. And so Dave's advice up next.